We are live. Hello,
We are
everybody.
live. We're still alive. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Campfires and Catholes. My name is Brian with Carlson Adventures, and my co-host again
I
tonight
am
because he won't leave,
TH the Jizo.
Chris
No,
from That Hiking Guy. No, not TH, whatever you said. So,
TH the Jizo. Well, maybe it should
whatever
be
you
Gizzo.
said. So, tonight we've got Tony from Hoosier Outdoor. He's going to be our guest tonight. But before we get into that, we got a little trip we just had last weekend. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, we went out to Paintown to the windy
So,
shores of Lake Monroe and did some truck camping. And it was a good time until it wasn't.
yeah, we I don't know, we had pretty good weather. It was, I think, over Friday night it got down to about 30, and then it was nice and sunny and about 50 most of the day on Saturday till the wind came in. But
Yep.
like you said, it's Paintown State Recreation Area. It's right on Lake Monroe. It's paid camping. It's a campground. Nice thing we did have electricity, so that was nice. I did actually,
Oh, it was great.
put a space heater in my Gazelle tent. Why not, right? If you got electricity, why shiver? But it was a good time. We had trail medic with us, and I don't know. Saturday night, I kept thinking, the rain was going to come in, and it's getting windier, and I didn't want to pack up in the rain at first thing in the morning, so we just kind of bailed on Saturday. What about 5 o'clock, 5:30, something like that?
Yeah. Plus, the wind was getting worse. It was like we had a makeshift shelter made up, and it was just whipping that thing to death. We had tarps up, and so we decided, yeah, don't want to do it, don't want to mess with it.
Mm-mm.
We called it
No,
early, and kind of glad we did.
yeah, I am too. When I woke up at the house Sunday morning and it was like just rainy and nasty all day, I was like, so glad I'm not out there in this weather putting my tent up. And then this week, it's been perfect tent drying weather, right? It's like teens in the mornings and freezing rain and everything else. So I think
Yeah,
that was a good call, but definitely had fun. It was good to see Trail Medic again.
ate some
Seeing some
good
more of our
food.
friends. Yeah, we had great food. How about that Jack Daniel's pulled pork, huh?
Oh, man, that
Mm-hmm.
stuff is just the best.
That's always, if you guys haven't taken that camping yet, if you're truck camping or car camp or whatever, I just threw it in a pan and heated it up, threw on some buns, and can't beat it. But it looks like we got some more of our friends in the chat tonight. I see Ross is here, Jeremy from All Things Outdoors, Tanya,
Philip, hey
Stone
Philip.
Ape, yep, Stone Ape Adventures, Tangent Trails. Good to see y'all tonight. So, one other thing before we bring Tony in, just a quick reminder if you guys haven't seen the videos that Trail Medic, Chris, and myself have put out, we have set the date for the Indiana Outdoor YouTubers Spring
Meetup.
Meetup. How about it? We're getting it
There you
right.
go. You got it
Official
right.
name. So, April 28th at the Blackwell Horse Camp in the Charles C. Wilderness area. So, April 28th,
And,
that Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday.
yep,
What do you got? Go ahead.
I got a giveaway going on. Probably the biggest one I've
Mm-hmm.
done yet. Possibly a movie night. I'm still working on the details of that. Um, and we're going to have some new people join us. I've had people reach out to me saying that I've not known before, saying, yeah, I'm going to be there. So
Yep.
it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're just going to have a bigger crowd, I hope.
Yep. Hopefully, we can get some of those Ohio boys and the Kentucky boys to come up too. Who knows?
Yep.
So, quick
Hey,
reminder: if you
Lambo.
guys got any questions, put them in the chat down here. We'll try to go back and answer them if you got any questions about the meetup or any other questions for us.
Yeah,
So,
put them in cap, put question in caps and then the question.
yes, caps. That way we see it.
Sorry, we're making you work for it.
Yep, absolutely. So, I won't say it.
Do not
I
say
was
that
waiting.
phrase.
So
Without
now
further ado,
you said it. Say,
I
let's bring
know.
Tony in.
All right, 3, 2, bam. What
Hey, it's me.
up?
There he is. How we doing, Tony?
Oh, wonderful. How are you guys?
Old,
We're
fat, old.
Same here.
that's Chris. I'm still here. Good as ever. So how you been, man? We
Yeah.
haven't got to see you. I
Not too
don't think I've
bad.
seen you since the fall meetup, right?
I think that's the last time I seen you home.
Lots of good
What's-
things going on in your channel. I see. We'll get into tonight. Some new builds coming up.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff coming up here soon.
So, what you got, Chris? You keep saying something. Ask the question. Go ahead.
No,
He's concentrating.
I'm just
I
okay.
guess.
No, yeah, you've had some things going on obviously some things going on, and we don't have to get too much into that. But it sounds like you're healing up and you're raring to go on your ambulance and all the things that you want to do. How's your mental health, Tony?
It's as worse as it's ever been.
Is it?
How are we back? I'm back. I have no idea. My internet literally went completely out, and then it came back on. So
That's all right. We're talking about mental health.
I can't promise it won't happen again. If it does, just continue without me until I come back.
Yeah, Chris and Tony show.
Right.
No, I don't joke about it, but I know that you've had some struggles. But it sounds like you're looking forward to getting out there and getting some camping done.
Yes, I've been going. I just literally got permission to be back in shoes and walking from having 2 toes amputated yesterday, believe it or not. So 5 weeks basically of not being able to leave the house. For a guy that lives outdoors 90% of his time, I've been going insane.
Yeah, as your Facebook posts have shown us.
Yeah, more insane. I was insane when I started, but I checked my analytics today or my stats on Facebook, and it said that I averaged 4 hours of YouTube a day for the last 4 weeks.
Well, but you're looking forward to changing that.
Yes, well, making YouTube videos rather than mindlessly watching them.
Yeah, except THG videos, obviously. Yeah, you gotta watch those.
No one watches this. No one watches this.
Right? No, no one does.
Carson posts shorts now, so that's all I could see.
So, what is the prognosis as far as like you're back in shoes now? What is the prognosis as far as hardening up your feet again, to getting back to the gym, to all the things that you were doing before?
That's pretty much it. Take it slow for the next couple weeks and get back to normal. Well, my normal, the best I can, and so getting ready to start out probably tomorrow. I'm going to go out and start just doing some filming around the house and stuff like that. I got a bunch of review videos planned and working on this ambulance build.
Yeah, that's gonna be a killer when it's done. Now I know you said you probably won't have it done before the meetup.
I doubt it. At the very best, I may have it running good and maybe a platform in it to put a bed in and may be able to bring it. Not sure yet, but it'll probably just be me and the old Overland Alac as usual.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you what, when you so this past weekend when we were with Trail Medic, he had me help him film his van video.
Yeah, I watched that.
If you want me to help you film your tour video, I'll come down to Martin, Kentucky.
Hey, definitely. I'll be definitely up for that.
Drive it as is, Jeremy says.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it drives pretty good now. Needs a little brake work. New tire, and mainly it's just getting it converted over license wise to an RV, save a small fortune on it. So that's going to take some time.
Yeah. Brian's left us for a short time. He'll be back. He's feeding the hamster that runs his internet.
He is streaming on a potato.
He had to get his next AOL card. All right, hold on.
Probably stealing his neighbor's internet. He doesn't even have it.
I'm back.
What's up? Welcome back.
I would have zero problems with internet the whole time before the show, and then the show comes on. So big middle finger to Xfinity. You guys can never get my stuff right. I'm out in Xfinity. I pay way too much for your absolute crap service. Sorry about that, folks. Rant over, but Xfinity, you suck.
This live stream is sponsored by.
Right, not Xfinity, because they drive me insane. How many weeks has this been? Like my internet's been jacked.
It's been awful.
It's been jacked. Like the last two, the last live stream we did and this one, I've actually tried to do from home. Normally, I'm going to the office and working from my desk at work because our internet actually works there. And goodness. Anyways, sorry for the disruptions.
We have a guest.
Jeez Louise, man. I can't get your break with internet these days. It's like 2003.
So you were wanting to...
Where were you?
Well, we were just talking about his ambulance briefly, but I didn't go too deep into it. But I know that you wanted to ask him some questions, so you go ahead.
Definitely. So I wanted to start out. So Tony, from what I know of you, you've been pretty much into the outdoors pretty much your whole life, correct?
Yeah, ever since I was probably since I could walk, I've been out camping and stuff, family, and pretty much continued that all through being a little kid, all the way through. When I was lucky enough, we moved out in the country when I was about 11, and my mom still teases me to this day that I spent more time out back in a tent than I did in my room.
That's good though.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did you primarily kind of grow up where you live now, or like around the Morgan Monroe area, that forest
Yeah,
area?
Morgan
Or?
Monroe. I grew up camping out in Morgan Monroe and just family camping trips and stuff like that. And where I live now has grown up a lot, but back when I was a kid, it was nothing but farmland and woods around me. So, and
Wow,
Yeah.
you just pulled the old guy phrase.
oh, definitely, it's grown up out here a lot now. But it was kind of nice that three or four families owned all the land, and they told all us young kids back then, "Don't tear stuff up and have fun." So, yeah, I thought I was a bushcrafter, and before bushcrafter was even a word, I think.
Very cool. Well, so
Nice.
as far as like Morgan Monroe State Forest, you've probably done a lot of the trails out there too, right?
No, not really. Honestly, I've always been a camper.
You've always been a camper.
Yep, we would go, the trails around the campgrounds and stuff like that. But hiking's neat. I love watching all the videos and stuff. But I'm pretty happy to find a spot in the woods and just hang out and relax.
You know, the older I get, the more I'm leaning towards that. Honestly, now it's just
I mean,
hike
another
to
couple
camp.
of years, you'll never leave your truck. So, oh,
Well, now it's like hiking to camp, not necessarily hiking to get a bunch of miles in. Yeah,
right. Very
Old
good, guys.
hikers
Just
become
keep going. You guys are
overlanders.
going. Right. Who was that? Oh,
Um,
that was David Gray. That when he started going with Jeremy, he said, "Oh my gosh," he's like, "I don't know if I ever backpack again." So
yeah.
it is nice to have all your nice luxury items with you and not have to carry them on your back. I can get behind that.
Yeah, we should talk
So
about that a little bit.
go ahead. Let's talk about it. So you do some boondocking and truck camping, car camping, whatever you want to call it these days, overlanding. So I also noticed you have a pop-up camper. So do you prefer like your pop-up camper, or do you even still have that?
I sold it. I've still got
Okay.
one that's kind of tore up that I thought about turning into a like a little tag trailer or teardrop kind of deal. But
Right.
no, I sold the camper about when COVID first hit, because I got a pretty good buy on it, and I kind of made a joke that, hey, I'm going to post this for 4 times what I paid for it on Facebook, and it sold within an hour.
Oh
So
wow, nice profit,
Nice.
dude.
yeah, and I took that money and bought the Gazelle and rigged out the old Escalade I had, and been doing that ever since.
So we should
That's what.
mention.
Go ahead. We should mention.
I'm sorry.
I'm
It's like
so messing with you
this is
today.
indicative of how we started out, where I would interrupt you all the time. I'm going to try
Yes,
not
I
to
love
do
it.
that.
Go ahead.
We should
Mention.
mention though, when he mentioned Gazelle, that he has been an
Mm-hmm.
influence on all of us to purchase Gazelles. In fact,
Yeah.
you used yours
Yeah.
this past weekend, and
Absolutely.
you and me, and then Hooks, Keith
Hooks and
has a
hammocks has one.
Gazelle.
Yep.
He has a Gazelle knockoff. So
Yeah.
you're
It was at
the
the. You're the influencer, man. The OG Gazelle influencer. I
yeah.
know. I had a rooftop tent, and then, like I said, I've talked about before. I liked it, but I hated that I was kind of stuck there. Once I set my tent up, I couldn't go explore anymore for the night. But saw yours at a meetup, and then Chris got one. I was like, maybe that's the way I should go. I've got one, like you said. Now Hooks and Hammocks got one. I love them, man. They're great. They're sturdy. They pop up quick. They're easy to put up. Roomy.
The
I mean,
Gazelle
you
was more comfortable than my pop-up camper was. That's what
yeah.
sold me on them, and why I went that route. Like the whole point of my setup and stuff like that is I used to only like to go camping unless it was just local and stuff, unless I could go for 2 or 3 days. And with the Gazelle
Mm-hmm.
and the Cadillac and stuff, the way set it up it is, I can go out if I just want to do an overnight. I can just pull into a campsite. My camp's set in 15 minutes. Everything's right there. I can relax, enjoy myself, get out away from everything, and load up the next day in 20 minutes and be done.
I like how you and Ashley have this division of duties and the system set up whenever it's both of you. When I'm watching your videos, I'm like, okay, there's clearly defined roles here. Uh, that like especially like inside the Gazelle, that you set everything up, right? Mostly,
Usually, yeah.
and then
She
she
brings
gets
it to me usually.
right, and then she gets the food ready. She starts
Yeah.
getting the food ready. So you guys have these division of duties, and it's very efficient.
Yeah, and it's nothing we've ever really planned out. Just we know each other. We've camped so much together. It's we both kind of watch and see what's being done and know what needs to be done next. And the sooner we get it done, the sooner we can sit down and eat, and enjoy ourselves. And obviously, I like to eat.
So do I, buddy. Let's talk about Ashley's overwhelming need to bring half a forest of firewood with her.
Yeah, I've yet to figure that out, but her greatest joy in life is to poke a fire with a stick.
It just cracked me up because at the last meetup, you're like, all these bundles of wood still coming out of the caddy. I can like, what's going on here?
You had like 5 Rick in there. It was insane.
Yeah, we do the same thing with food. We just don't ever show it.
You
Like,
guys
it's an
do have a
overnight. We
good
need
setup.
26 hamburgers just in case.
Just in case 24 people come by.
Right.
Right.
You never know.
You guys do have that kind of setup though, and I've noticed like when my wife and I go, so we have a camper pull behind, and we'll take that, and it's kind of like we've never really talked about it, but we pull in. The first thing I do, I hook up the electricity. She goes in, kicks on the AC, and she kind of gets the inside together. I unhook it from the truck, set it all up, and it's like by the time I've got my chores done, she's got hers done, and we can sit down for a nice drink and chill. It's just kind of, I guess it's that married thing, right? You guys just
Well,
kind of, it's
the point of camping to me is to get out and relax and enjoy yourselves. And, once you get all the chores done, that's what you get to do. So the faster you get the chores done, the faster you get to go be camping.
So is there one piece of equipment besides the Gazelle? Is there one piece of equipment when you're camping that brings you the most joy?
Probably the 12-volt cooler.
12-volt cooler.
Yeah, just the fact that you don't have to fight through ice, and the way we've got the solar and everything set up on the truck. We want to go camping. Everything's always loaded up, so we just jump in and we'll swing by a grocery store and pop the back open, throw everything in the cooler, and we're camping.
Nice.
It's
so we've kind of talked about the truck, the caddy. Can you go ahead and kind of explain, like, to the viewers and listeners what you got actually have built out?
okay. Yeah, well, I've got a 2002 Cadillac Escalade that in its prior life was one of my best friend's car audio competition truck. So basically, this thing at one time had enough speakers in it that it vibrated it to death. So we went through, and pretty much it wasn't worth being an Escalade anymore. Super nice car. So we gutted it out. We put a pull-out kitchen in there. Put solar on the roof, 250 watts of solar on the roof, battery pack, everything like that, so we can just camp out of it whenever we want and not have to pack and load everything. Pretty much, it is my daily driver, but I don't drive much, so it goes camping and never gets unloaded.
Well, so like you keep just food, right? That's you throw some food in there. And
Yeah, throw the cots and the chairs and the Gazelle and fire pit and everything stays in it. So we throw some firewood in, go pack up the food, and fill the water tank up, and we're ready to go.
So the firewood takes the longest to load, right?
Usually, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see if the old pop-up you have, if things don't work out with that, you could always just take that off, use the trailer as a firewood hauler.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine the firewood you could haul. So awesome. I've actually seen the Escalade. You've done a great job on it with the I like how you've got the I mean, that thing has a huge roof, so plenty of room for the solar panels and the drawers and everything that you pull out, and the back. I mean, great job on that. I wish we could show everybody, but it's like, you guys come to the meetup, you'll be able to see it possibly.
Right.
Yeah, it will probably be there.
Tony will be giving tours of the Escalade April 28th.
And if it's not there, the new toy will be. So one of the two.
So along with along with the caddy and all that, and the boondocking and camping. You've got some DIY videos, how to and repairs, but also you also share some recipes, some of your favorite recipes on your channel too. Is there one that sticks out that's like do you guys have like a go-to you get excited about, like, hey, we're going camping and we're bringing this kind of stuff, or is it just
Campfire
whatever?
nachos.
There you go.
Campfire
That's
nachos.
become almost a must when we go camping now.
Nice.
Back in the day, it used to be dump cake. I used to love to make dump cake, but
Oh yeah.
it's pretty terrible for me. But boy, it's delicious. But anything in the Dutch oven, and we try to get creative with our cooking, change stuff up, and you know, everybody in their videos, eats packet gourmet and stuff like that. So, you know,
Well, I know you were trying to you're still probably trying to eat healthier, but so how has that influenced your camp recipes, or has it?
it hasn't. Honestly, like,
Attaboy.
I try to eat good. Been on a diet for a while now. This last 5 weeks of having me where I couldn't leave the house has pretty much
Yeah.
killed that. But I'm right back to it again. But when I go camping, unless it's like a 4 or 5 day trip, we eat what we want to eat pretty much.
So your cheat day, your cheat
That's my cheat day.
cheat
Yeah.
weekend. Yeah.
Cheat day. This
Well, and that's how it should be, right? Like if everybody's good all the time, then when it's time to go camping, you just throw that caution to the wind and just,
Yep. And
Yes.
where we that's what cooking is one of the things we enjoy when we go camping, and we don't show half of what we make, where most YouTubers anyway will go out and they'll cook a meal just to YouTube and make that cooking video. We usually plan a cooking video when we plan on filming, but then we eat good the rest of the weekend too.
yeah, but let's not discount too much though what you have filmed because you have made biscuits and gravy, I think it was, in slow-mo. You did a montage.
You have to have slow mo. I mean,
Yeah,
It
you
was-
did a cinematic biscuits and gravy.
when I signed up for YouTube, it told me I either had to film in slow mo or I had to buy a one wheel and skinny jeans. I
Yeah,
went with the slow mo.
good choice.
Yeah. Skinny jeans. Only Chris wears those nowadays.
Not
Um,
likely.
So primarily Indiana. I know you said you're from, the Morgan Monroe area. Any other states that you've been to, or any that you would like to go to in the future?
I've definitely got some plans in the future. I've done a little bit of camping down in the Kentucky area. I'd like to get way back down in there again. Like get down to Tennessee. Just explore some different areas. We're planning on kind of building up towards starting to do some longer trips. I'd like to get out maybe for like a month at a time, shoot down to like Florida and just camp our way back.
Oh, that would be fun.
Nice. Yeah,
That'd
that'd
be
be
a good
great.
time. Oh, we have a question from Philip.
Let's see.
Let me put it on the screen.
Okay. There you go. So I'll read it. Currently, my arms are non-functional bicycle wreck. What are some good hikes that you don't need arms, trekking poles, in the 5 to 10 mile range? No camping for me for a bit. Yeah, Philip, I saw that. It looks like
His
you ripped your
scapula.
hike. Yeah,
Yeah, he broke his scap. Ouch.
I know.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
When I saw that on his Instagram, I was like, oh man, he's every day.
Yeah.
The battle
Yeah,
was
he's an
won.
everydayer.
Yeah. So, man, 5 to 10 mile range. You would need arms.
Peninsula Trail.
Yeah, that's 5 miles out and back. You could do some out and backs. You could go to
There's
Patton
no
Cave.
trekking poles needed for it.
Yeah, Patton Cave. I mean, it's one hill at the beginning. If it was slick, you would want trekking poles in that. Man, like Versailles State Park, I'm not sure where you're located if in Indiana and that, but Versailles State Park has a lot of great little loops. You can do 3 to 4 or 5 mile. Trying to think. Morgan Monroe, you could do what's the 3 mile loop there? It's like the Hanging Rock one. What do they call that?
The what is it called?
The Rock.
I should know
it's,
that one.
Rock Shelter.
Yeah,
Rock
that's the Rock
Shelter.
Shelter.
I knew it wasn't Rock Cave. The Rock Shelter, that's a good one. It's 3 miles. It's moderate best. I mean, there's stairs going up the one way, but
Philip, I can do if you want. I can do some research on that. If you want to contact me, I can tell you offline. But I've been to just about every trail in the state that is 3 miles and over. So I
Jeremy
could
just
probably
said
tell you.
Turkey Run, if you're close to that. Turkey Run and Shades, they've got some good loops too that are
There's
shorter.
that what Scare So Fat, I think the name of it is, trail
Yeah.
in Yellowwood that's about
At
that length.
Yellowwood. Yep.
It's
and,
got
and
the
the
it's
lake
got a hill
trail.
at the end though.
Does it?
Yeah.
The
It's got
lake
it,
trail there too. It goes all the way around Yellowwood Lake. That's like 7 miles.
yeah,
It's not
that's not a
bad.
bad one. That's a flat one.
Yeah, a lot of
Um,
beavers on that west side of that too, where they've got the trees just about cut in two.
yeah,
I mean,
I had a good
gigantic
picture of
trees.
that.
Yep. So yeah,
Um,
there's a couple.
yeah, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out for you, Phil.
Definitely.
Um,
So everybody follow Philip here, and you've got some questions for Tony.
yeah, some
Put them in
questions
the
for
chat.
Tony.
So bucket list camping. Is there any certain place that you're just like, man, one of these days I'm going to make it
One of
there?
these days.
I don't
One of
have a
these
whole lot of
days.
those because I like camping a little different than most people do. One thing we really enjoy is and I kind of pride myself on, not totally, is all my videos I put up and all the camping I've done, I've never reserved a site once in my life.
What?
Never.
Really?
Um,
How have you gotten away with that?
we shoot for getting out when people aren't, and
True.
if you can get a Tuesday, Wednesday off and go hit up forestry properties instead of state parks, you don't have to reserve sites. So I really like the boondocking and finding the off the beaten path kind of places. And
Well, I've got 22 sites I could share with you.
wouldn't say there's a bunch of like specific places I would go, but finding them's half the adventure. So I would, like I said, I'd love to go down south, go down to Tennessee, some places like that, and just go search and see what I can find.
We got a question
All right.
here for Tony.
Jeremy, All Things Outdoors asks, what is your sleeping pad or your sleep pad of choice?
A cot. The ground is for young people.
Do you not use a sleeping pad at all on your cot?
On the
Just
cot.
the cot itself?
We use the most common one we use are the Coleman Comfort Smart Deluxe, which have a sleeping pad with them.
Okay.
Oh, so they're integrated?
Yep. They come with a pad on them, which is just probably like a 2-inch thick, 1.5-inch thick foam pad.
Huh.
Insulates pretty well. And then we've also got the Teton XXL and the matching pad for it, and that thing's like the Cadillac of cots.
Nice.
I
have to agree. And the Gazelle, I went to a cot this year or into last year with a sleeping pad, and that is the way to go. Forget the inflatable big mats that go, flat halfway through the night. The cot is the way to go.
Cot and a buddy heater. We've camped many times down into the teens, stuff like that, and I'm sleeping in shorts on top of my sleeping bag half the time.
Wow, that's so. There's two things going on there: a visual I don't need, but also, that tells you the efficiency of the Gazelle.
Yeah, and we don't put blankets on it. That's with the mesh roof, everything. Of course, we do what a lot of people worry about and stuff. I'm actually getting ready to do a video on this. I do believe it's like we'll run a heater all night. We'll bring a 20-pound tank. We're not backpacking out. There's no point. As long as you're safe about keeping the carbon monoxide detector close and make sure your sleeping bags and stuff, anything. Don't recommend people doing that with kids, but I mean, we've been down, if it's 30, 40 degrees out, you can't even turn the heater on because it'll run you out of the tent.
So I'm going to go on record as saying that you're the quintessential car camper. Like
Pretty much.
That's your niche. If we're going to be pretentious with it, your niche.
Yeah, that's the goal. I be right on the. I never want to consider myself a glamper, but I want to make sure that I want to see how comfortable I can make myself be with as little effort as possible.
However,
I think we've got a new niche here. It's called comfort camping.
Comfort
Yeah.
camper. Ooh, I like that.
Right? He's a comfort
very-
camper.
I like that. But you have also told me that you're not opposed to a hammock.
No, I love my hammock, and that I have to blame Chris for, because he talked me into trying out a hammock, and there's nothing I probably like it as much as the car camping setup, but we basically do it the same. I mean, we take the exact same gear rather than setting up the gazelle and the
Right.
cots and all that stuff. We hang up some hammocks and some tarps.
Yeah, and while the car is right over here.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the whole pull-out kitchen 20 feet away, and we've got two hammocks slung up in the tree where I can sleep like a baby.
So does Ashley like hammocks too?
Yes, she probably likes them more than I do.
Really?
Best night's sleep I've ever had.
That's awesome. See, Brian. Actually, Brian influenced me, so you can blame him unofficially. But I'll take the
but
credit.
I mean, we've done that
No,
as
like-
well. I mean, even when we went to Red River Gorge last year with Jeremy and I, just four-wheeling in my truck and his Bronco Net, you and I took our hammocks and we slept in hammocks every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
forget
we
the
do
tents.
some,
It's just easy.
yeah, we do hammock setups every. If we're hitting a spot and the trees look good, a lot of times we've got the hammock with us, and that's where we sleep. Well, like you pointed out, Brian, in your last video you just put up, there are advantages to the tent. It's nice to have stuff
Mm-hmm.
place to spread your stuff out and be able to set up and have a dry place and warm place to
Yep.
get dressed and all that stuff. But it is hard to beat for a good night's sleep. Our cheap little. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm running I think my hammock was $24,
Oh well. Slow
And-
down there, budget guy.
and we have used it. I've probably slept 15, 20 nights in it. Had it for 2 years. $40 under quilt. Works great.
Yeah.
What's the limit of cold that you'll go down to in a hammock?
In the hammock, I've only got a 40-degree under quilt, and I think I've been down in like the 50s.
Gotcha.
Which,
Yep.
I want to get out and do some snow camping in the hammocks. I want to get the gear to do it. I just think it'd be awesome. I really want to do some cold weather camping.
It is if you're in a group, and the reason I say that is because you have to wait out your fellow campers to see who's going to start the breakfast fire.
Yes.
You will not
And
beat
so
me.
you-
I'm the champion.
You have to be really patient and see and wait for voices. That's what I always listen for.
There is the hammock hot tents out now, and I've been eyeballing those too.
Yeah, and I can turn you on to a company that has a more of a budget one. But it's a hot tent for your hammock, but it's cheaper than most.
Now, in true me lazy fashion, though, I'm not fighting with loading a stove every 2 hours from a hammock.
No,
Bringing a buddy
no.
heater.
Yeah, hot, a buddy heater hot tenting.
Yeah, he's going to put the buddy heater in this. I mean, I know, what is it, that Rock Damas?
Yeah.
Is that One Tigers that makes it one Rock
Yeah.
Damas? That
Yeah,
one's
One
not
Tigers
bad.
is the one I think originally that made them.
I want to say that's like $170, $180 for that tent.
It's $199.
Is that what it is? I didn't
Yeah,
think it was like
but-
too god
But
awful.
one wind also makes one now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're I think they're like 100.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so
And I'll
much
tell you
cheaper.
what, I hadn't heard of One Wind until you started testing out some of their gear, and I haven't used any of it except for the underquilt protector. But other than that, like looking at your setup that you've got from them, I mean, that stuff's great. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's
We have a-
budget
we have a
friendly,
One
and
Wind.
it's
Underquilt we
Yeah.
use. And
yeah.
I use a One Tigress, and Ash uses a One Wind. And the One Wind I actually like a lot better than the One Tigress.
Yeah. Hey, let's take a second to show some love for the chat. Harley Dude made it in. Hey, Harley Dude, and he says, "Hey,
Hello.
Tony,
So did
Uh,
Caveman OS Max. He's in.
where Tennessee do you go?"
We're in.
Yeah. Well,
You were talking
well,
about going to Tennessee, Tony. Is there anywhere specific that you go in Tennessee?
That he
I've never
wants-
been there,
that he
so
wants to go.
that's one of the
okay.
places I want to go.
Gotcha.
He's still trying to find good places. Fall Creek Falls,
believe-
I've been down there. It's not bad. Let's see here. Philip says hammock camping is the best. I went hammock camping and dread anytime I have to go to the ground. I hear you there.
Yep.
Max has the underquilt protector. Oh, from One Wind. Yeah, I just tried that too. And so let's see here. And he says, "Sorry, I can't type." Okay, I just want to give some love to the chat for a little bit.
Yep. You're doing great for a caveman. Yeah, that One Wind underquilt protector. I was really pleased. I'd never used one, and they do. I don't know. Your hammock setup was pretty nice for them. So, anyways, I
Let's
guess
get
it
back
goes
to
to show,
Tony.
yeah, you can, budget camp and budget hammocking. You don't have to spend a fortune.
That's right.
So
Yeah, we tried to do everything on a budget.
along with like the love outdoors, I know you've got some other hobbies as well. So also photography. So were you a professional photographer or had a photography business?
I ran a photography studio for about 10 years. I was a wedding photographer, did portraits, off-road racing, stuff like that. Way back in the day, I converted a school bus over to a mobile photography studio, and we went around the racetracks and took pictures and had
Nice.
print on demand right there on site and
Oh wow, that's
all
cool.
kinds of neat stuff. That was back in the old school, great big heavy monitor days.
Do you miss it? Do you miss, or do you still get your taste of it because of YouTube?
But pretty much that's why I do YouTube. Like I was like, okay, what do I do with all this camera knowledge I have? And I love camera stuff. But the problem with photography is as far as profitability it goes, um, you can do such amazing photos with like an iPhone now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To do professional photography is really hard. So I got into what actually originally got me into YouTube was I started doing stock video,
Oh, I've done that. Yeah.
selling stock, and actually bought all my camera work with the idea of starting a business doing real estate.
Real estate
Video.
photography and
And
video.
Yep.
and I was like, let's try this YouTube thing. What do I do? And like I said, I grew up camping and always loved the outdoors. I'm like, well, if I do this, it gives me excuses to go camping because I don't have to film. So that's what started it all.
Very cool. Well, you
So
currently
also,
go ahead.
go ahead.
No, go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead.
No, you go
No,
ahead.
you.
No,
No,
please.
You. No, you. No,
You.
you.
Somebody
So,
go.
so did the photography become before your astrology love, or those kind of tied together as well?
I've always been kind of into like the astronomy stuff all my life, and I did that before the YouTube stuff. The camera stuff came first. Um, Basically came down to when I could afford a good telescope, and from there I kind of got hooked.
So what's the one behind you? Is that your top of the line, or is that
That is a Skywatcher 10-inch Dobsonian. It's a pretty
you're
big
gonna
boat.
watch the Green Comet with that, right?
Yes, that's the plan. That's why it's sitting out here. I was actually getting it all adjusted and getting the culmination on it and stuff right to go out and try and see if I can see the comet either late tonight or tomorrow night.
Lambo has a he had a comment about your room there.
He said
won't
drum
touch
set.
your
That's not a
set.
drum set. That's a. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
a
a
drum.
telescope, not a drum set. But in Step Brothers, he didn't use his hands.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a nice
So-
looking. That is a nice looking telescope you got there.
Yeah, that's not all that was in German or something to me.
I could
know
do about
nothing
10 of
that
these
stuff.
episodes on all the hobbies I've had in my life for sure. So
Yep. So
I spent
one I
about-
really want to.
go ahead.
I was going to say the one I really want to dig into next is your latest project. So tell us what your latest project has been for those who have not seen it yet.
It took us about 3 years of searching. It didn't end up with exactly what I wanted, but we ended up buying a 1979 E350 Ford ambulance, and we're going to convert into a full, pretty much completely off-grid boondocking monster is the plan. It should going to do full kitchen, queen size bed, heat, all solar, pretty much where we can just go camp and travel wherever we want. And that kind of falls into wanting to get out and travel a little bit more and see some new spots. And it's going to be quite the project, but it'll be fun when it's done.
How excited is Ashley for that?
Really, because she wants to travel, and I'm not a being I worked for the railroad in the past, and she does a lot of travel for her work. Both of us are just over the whole hotel thing.
Mm-hmm.
So this way we get to take her home wherever we want. And, I kind of like the idea of Trail Medic. In a lot of his videos points out that, like, you can just go stay at a Walmart or something like that. And if you're traveling, you go drive 2 or 3 hours and stay at some rest stop or something that ain't the most glorious place, but gives you a stopping point to get to the really cool spot you want to go to.
Yeah. I've got a.
So was it all pretty? Was it all pretty much original stuff? I mean, was it pretty much original equipment when you
it
got
had
it?
72,000 original miles on it. It's a gas engine 460. I actually tracked down the original fire department stuff it came from and pictures from it. It was a little bitty volunteer fire department where it probably sat in a garage most of its life. But it was all pulling. I got some video coming up here and stuff showing where I've gutted it out now, and you can see on the back where it says like Steve 1979, where the guy built the boxes and signed the back of them, and they've never been out of it.
Jeremy says, please name it Ecto 1.
Now, if I could get a hold of an Ecto 1 ambulance, I definitely would.
Sloan says, best way to travel. So have you ever considered when you get it done, because there's a spot over in Illinois called a Garden of the Gods. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yes, my brother-in-law actually been there and made some videos of that place.
So there is a campground there that is a beautiful campground, and it's right by the observation trail. And the observation trail is not very long. It's like an 8.8 miles. But you get to see a lot of cool rock formations. That should be on your list. I think I'm going to go ahead and put it on your list.
That is definitely the reason we're building it. Like, one thing, we could have bought an RV, we could have bought a travel trailer or something like that. But, Brian's got one, and I'm sure he'll, you have to really watch where you park those things and what you do with them, because they're made like twigs. And this thing, this thing, you don't have to worry as much, because an entire tree could fall on it and it wouldn't budge.
Right.
One of the smaller
newer travel trailers. You're right. They're just not made as sturdy as what you've got there. That thing should be bomb-proof.
We wanted something a little smaller because we do love to camp down on like the Hoosier National Forest and places like that, and you can fit it in any little non-electric campsite anywhere. And after COVID hit, as many of you that camp probably realize, is it's hard to get campsites in state parks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason for this build is we do
I
want to
will
get out.
say, I will say, I don't think you'll be able to get to what I call the good spot. I don't know that you'd be able to get your ambulance down there.
Yet.
Well, well, because of the width, because of the trees. That's why I'm thinking, not because you couldn't get it down there like the motor, but that's a great spot and I'm sure you know a lot of spots. We probably know a lot of the same spots in the Hoosier National Forest.
One of the cool things about the ambulance is it's only 7.5 feet wide. So it's not much wider than a full-size truck.
Yeah, I guess you could then. Yeah, you
one tree that's in the way, that one tree there that makes it tough.
You're ashamed if something happened to that tree.
Right. I would never advocate cutting that down, but if it somehow disappeared, I mean, it would be so much easier to get around back there, especially in a full-size truck. For those,
I think you really enjoy.
I just have my manlet.
The guilt way free to get rid of trees in places like that is never ever cut them down. That goes against all the rules. But if you spray paint a red X on them, the tree trimming crews don't know any difference.
Let them do it, right?
It's only like that big around too.
So something you were saying, like, with your ambulance and that, you've got a lot more freedom to where you can park and stuff like that. It made me think of a funny little quick story I'll tell real quick that Trail Medic told us this weekend. So on his whole route this last week where he was at, he stayed at a Walmart one night. You know where I'm going with this, Chris?
Yeah, I know the story.
So he said he was back in his van and he heard like somebody tapping on the door, and he's like, "Hello." They tapped again, and finally he answered, and it was a couple of ladies who was just checking on him to make sure he had everything he needed, and they thought he was homeless. They were asking him like they wanted him to fill a survey out, asking him about when was the last time you slept in a real structure, and how long have you been out here, and do you need any help, or do you need any health care, and do you need? They were trying to give him water and all kinds of stuff. So just be prepared that you could be mistaken for homeless.
You could get the knock.
So,
Yeah. And they'll all just be like,
that
hey, free food.
free food. So I'm starving. We really haven't ate. So no, that was a pretty good one. He was just like, I kept telling him I'm not homeless. I'm fine. I offered them to make them coffee, and
Yeah, he's like showing them, he just finished his build and he's like showing them, look, I have created this.
Exactly. I'll tell you a quick story here. And, this is kind of like where you're saying how that stuff goes and always being prepared for stuff. The only time we've ever been skunked trying to find a place to camp in the Hoosier National Forest, we left one night on a Saturday evening and decided to go down in the Cadillac. And it was packed. It was first weekend. It was warm.
Yeah.
Everybody and their brother was out. We dead set on using the hammocks, or we would have stopped at the horse camp and threw them up. But there's no place to put them up. We could have fit in there pretty easy. We were out down near the Hickory Ridge horse camp. Well, as we're coming back, there is, and this is talking about like Keith and people trying to help people. We find this car just in the middle of nowhere, tires off of, and there's 3 people out there trying to fix it. A little beat up Honda. And so we stopped. I was a mechanic most of my life, so I'm going to help them out. And they blew the line on their clutch cylinder. So wouldn't go into gear. But in the process of me fixing their truck, which we did manage to do and get them out of there, having the right setup and stuff, I remember laughing about it because they'd been out there for like 8 hours. They'd hiked all day trying to get home. So I look up and Ashley's got the pull-out kitchen in the back of the thing. We got skunked, so we got like 3 packets of hot dogs in there. She made dinner for everybody right there in the middle of the road, gravel roads.
Well, that was nice.
But that's back to that thing. It's cool to have all the gear you need, just in case.
Yeah. Which gets back to having 24 hot dogs and
for an overnight trip.
For an overnight trip, yeah.
Fellas got to eat. I mean, why go hungry, right? So you think? Do you have a timeline when you think you'll have this build complete? Maybe by the end of the year, or you think it's going to be like
the end of I'm going to try and get it done this year. I don't know. It's going to be a never-ending project. The idea is to get it mechanically sound first, and then start building out what I need in it, and then just slowly add on. I'm a nerd, so I've got all kinds of goofy plans. It's going to have all the exterior lighting that's wireless, like everything in it's going to be touchscreen controlled and a bunch of crazy stuff.
Where are you going to store your Starlink?
It's probably going to end up with Starlink.
Are you? I was kidding.
You do that.
That way you guys can do a live podcast from the meeting.
Oh God, that would be great.
That would be pretty cool. So we probably won't see this at the spring meetup, but maybe the fall meetup.
Maybe the fall. I about guarantee I'll have it at least running and ready to go. It runs great now, but I want to make sure it's good mechanically sound and ready to go before I start. I don't want to insure it and plate it and spend all that money on the insurance and stuff if it's just setting. So I want to make sure it's ready to go.
Yeah, because someday somebody could be making you roadside hot dogs if you don't get it mechanically sound.
Exactly. That is actually one of the reasons why we went with as old as it is with the low mileage. I know those motors and stuff backwards and forwards. I would have liked to got a nice diesel one, but not a diesel mechanic. But I can tell you anything you want to know about an old gas motor.
So I guess we'll add that to your list of things that you've done as mechanic. And what did you do? What did you do for the railroad?
I was a track inspector most of the time I was on the railroad, so I got to set the little truck on the tracks and go right around. I actually worked for the track department, so we did maintenance. I traveled for a few years with the railroad. Actually on what was called a curve patch team, we went through and laid rail. Basically, you run a big assembly line of equipment that just rolls on top of the rail and changes everything out.
Yeah. Very cool.
I don't know. You're gonna have to jump on the bandwagon, Chris. Everybody's getting vehicles and building them out. Tony's got a van, or Tony's got an ambulance. Trail Mech's got a van. KillQuest has got a like a trailer
Yeah,
they're building
yeah,
out.
because I didn't do mine back in 2017.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing nowadays? Step up your game.
I'm going to. I'm simplifying, is what I'm doing.
Okay, that's what we'll call it. I'm sorry.
I've always
buddy.
been
I
kind
didn't
of a
mean to pick
vehicle
on you.
nerd, so half the fun for me is building the stuff. Half the adventure is creating these weird things. You can go out and do it different than everybody else.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's ever changing. I've had my Tacoma for 2 years now, 2.5, and I think I've had like 5 different ideas. Haven't followed through on any of them yet, but So
Keith was telling me that he took somebody's advice where you take your time with your build, because your floor plan is going to change. Everything is going to change from when you originally start out.
Van City Van Life. I watch that channel religiously.
Yeah,
and he does
that's
too.
who he said it was.
that's who it was. Yep.
And that's what
Jeremy
he
says-
preaches. More time, because we've all been there. Your backpack changes constantly. Your hammock system changes constantly, and a vehicle's no different. You want to, if this table was 2 inches bigger, it would be a little bit easier to use. If it was moved over here, this would be better. So save you a lot of time and effort if you spend the time to do it right the first time.
Yeah, I started this year with 2 hammocks. I have 4 now. So yeah.
That boy. Johnny Colleen asked, will be cool to see. Will the ambulance be at the spring meetup? Probably not. He's saying probably be done by the fall meetup. So you guys will have to come to both meetups this year, guys.
Right.
Definitely.
Jeremy,
the meetups
Jeremy
are
says
a must
build up
for everybody.
Oh, well,
Although they're in
hasn't been
Michigan.
down and visited yet. Yeah, but they're not that far in Michigan. I know where in Michigan they're at, and
But
it's not that
fall
far.
colors in Michigan is probably a lot better than fall colors in Indiana. I would
Absolutely.
imagine.
So they can at least come to the spring.
Yeah.
Come on. Jeremy
For the
says
meetups,
build out the
here's what
Tundra.
everybody has to realize is the meetups are a great amount of fun. And if you're a hiker and you come to the meetup, you're not hiking. So you get to hang out with everybody, rest up. And when you drive home Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, you're not exhausted from putting in 40 miles over the weekend.
Right. Although that day hike almost killed me. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, look at this. KillQuest says we are coming.
Sweet.
You heard it here first, folks. That'll be great for you guys to come down and hang out and watch me and Chris make fun of each other, because that's pretty much what we do.
right.
Although Tony,
Look,
Tony, I appreciate it, buddy. You've been my friend this whole live stream. You usually throw it right back on me. You're pretty much you and
Yeah, you're
Peterson,
being
the only
nice.
two that can really
being
keep up
nice.
with me. I'll pay for it
please.
later, I'm sure, but normally, Tony, man, you got to watch him. He's being nice. Now, normally he throws some zingers on me. I'm like, whoa, bro, where'd that come from? So I love it though, man. That's the fun of it. We've all became friends over the years of these meetups, and just watching everybody's channel and getting the meetup. It's like I always say, it's the community that I love about this whole thing. And I mean, us 3 here talking tonight, without the YouTube and us getting together, we would have never met and became friends. So I mean,
No,
me and Tony
God, no.
would become friends. I'm not friends
I
with
mean,
Chris at all.
I didn't mean it
Say
like
that.
that. What I meant was, no, we probably wouldn't. I didn't mean to be so dramatic about it.
Right. Like,
God,
we're not
no.
friends, Chris. God, no.
I'm trying to
So,
behave. I mean, Carlson owns a Toyota, so he's already suffered enough.
So does Chris.
He's got a man-sized one.
Oh,
Very good. See, there he is. I have a manlet.
Shijinga.
There's the Tony I know.
There's the meetup, Tony.
Yeah.
That's right. So, does anybody have any last minute questions here for Tony before we call it a stream, a cast?
But
All right,
so
everybody speak up at once.
so I honestly I'm really glad that we had you on. We wanted to have you on before when we were doing all the Indiana people, but it wasn't the right time. But we're super excited to have you come to the meetups. We're super excited to get to camp with you. We need to camp outside of a meetup,
Yeah, we do definitely all need to get together. I get this ambulance done. I was telling Ashley that I may have to try and put together a Boondockers meetup or something once a
Oh, that'd
year.
be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Try and see some of these neat builds. I'd love to see Cool Quest bring their little camper they just built down.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's you're just an interesting dude, and we're really glad to have you on. We're gonna last call for any other questions. If you don't have any questions, Tony, let me share your channel. 1 second here. And so what y'all need to do is y'all need to go to Hoosier Outdoor and give him a sub. Tell him CNC sent you. Let's get him up over 600.
Over 600. He's just about there, right?
Yeah, let's get him past Carlson. And so you can see his videos about the ambulance. So he's got a lot of good stuff going on. More stuff to come.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff planned, so like to see everybody come on over, and also while you're there, make sure you hit the like button on this stream, because you guys need more than like the 150 subs you got. This is my favorite Wednesday every other week.
Wait, we have 150?
How many got? I don't know how many got.
124. I think we had 124.
Let's get that to 150.
There you go.
Absolutely, I agree. Well, with that, see, Caveman says he's going to go sub. Glad we caught the tail end. Absolutely, guys. I'm glad you guys made it back safe and sound from Cosmel. I mean, that looked, from the one video I've seen so far, it looked like you guys had a really rough time down there.
Yeah, so, you poor guys. And we're sorry for you.
Looking for more videos on that, too, as well. So,
anyway,
Tony,
thank you, Tony.
Thanks. Yeah,
hey,
thanks
for
coming
me
on tonight. Thanks for your time and everything. It's always good to catch up with you. Everybody, make sure you go over to Hoosier Outdoor again, and
we're going to put him in the green room.
Yep.
And, thanks, everyone.
All right. Okay.
All right. So, always good to catch up with Tony, right?
Yeah, it's good, dude. Interesting, dude.
So
once again, April 28th, Blackwell Horse Camp, YouTube, Indiana Outdoor YouTubers Meetup. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to have a lot of fun. So I just want to remind everybody. And you guys can see Carlson over at Carlson Adventures. See me at the hiking guy. And what else you got?
Yeah, if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, first time you're hearing this or getting to know us, hit me up. I'm trying to break this 700 mark. I'm just about there. When I get to 700, I'm going to be doing a live stream. I'll probably have Chris produce it because I'm horrible at these things. But Jeremy from All Things Outdoors, just out of the blue, hit me up the other day and said, hey, man, would you want a Polar Jammer to give away on your channel? I'm like, yes, I could do a subscriber giveaway with that. So he is kind of sponsoring my 700 subscriber giveaway. So thanks again, Jeremy, for that.
Very cool.
Yeah, appreciate everybody's support on my channel, Chris' channel, and our channel together here. It's, like I said, it's a great community, and we enjoy just getting together every other week and having a guest on and just chatting with y'all. So with that, hit us up also if you guys are listening on audio, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Amazon, whatever. Make sure you follow us on there. Give us a review, something like that. That helps get this show out to other people who may never heard it before. And we're trying to really grow and push this channel this year. So, I mean, we have a lot of fun doing it. So appreciate it.
Do.
Anything you guys can do for us to help us get the show out there. So with that, thanks for the good live chat. Good stuff. Thanks, Philip. Thanks for everybody in the chat tonight for participating. And with that one, we'll see y'all on the next.
Yep. See you later. Get out there and explore. Bye.
Get out there, explore. Bye.